Hello everyone, this is In-Game Arts. We're doing another unboxing, another breakdown of the demo. This is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Now, if anyone knows that I'm a big fan of survival horror games, and I've been part of the survival horror genre for a very long time. Even more so when it comes to Resident Evil. I have been part of it since I was a wee boy, and I've been a part of it since the long box on the PlayStation 1, Resident Evil, the very first one. So I think I got a generally good idea about Resident Evil and its roots and where it's come and where it's gone and where it is now. Resident Evil 7 was clearly a throwback back to the original Resident Evils. We're not talking about Resident Evil 4 or anything like that. We're talking about the original ones on the PlayStation 1. Once you play it, you'll quickly realize that that's what their end goal was to try to go back to the main root of Resident Evil. The only thing that's different between Resident Evil 7 is, of course, the camera's perspective. Much like Resident Evil 4, they decided to approach it in a much different direction, but still leaving the fundamental formula from the original Resident Evil. Now, Resident Evil 4 did change up a few things here and there. It did have a little bit more action-packed scenery and everything. But most people don't really realize that the original Resident Evil games were pretty action-packed for what they were. They ain't like Silent Hill or anything like those kinds of games where it's a much slower survival horror game. Resident Evil was more of a survival horror action-packed game. It's always been like that. Now, when we were younger and everything like that, of course, we perceived it in a much different way. But if you play them now, which I have, and I still do, I still play the original Resident Evils, the original ones that came out on PlayStation 1 to this day. Even with the HD remake of the first one, I still play the original first one because I love it. And I just wanted to point out also that I was very hesitant to wondering what I could possibly do for this video, because survival horror games are highly stand by that you need to go into it without any knowledge. That's the key thing to a horror movie or anything like that. So everything you're going to see mostly is going to be from the as you start up the game. I'm not really going to show you any spoilers. I'm very finicky about doing that. And on top of that, I don't want to show you anything that will ruin the surprise when you encounter it. But don't you worry. Everything you see looks great, it will play great and everything, and there's still action-packed fighting. You can still defend yourself. There's still guns. There's still equipment. There's still the core thing we love about Resident Evil. The factor of surviving, but well able to defend yourself. Resident Evil 7 is probably one of the best Resident Evils that we've had in a long while right now. To my opinion, it definitely beats 5 and 6. Not saying Resident Evil 5 and 6 are bad games. They are good games, regardless what anyone wants to tell you. Just Resident Evil 7 here really went back to the style that I like, where you're working with very little resources, you're constantly moving at a very slow pace, you don't have a co-op partner, there's no online gameplay, you're by yourself all the time, every time. That was the key reasons why I always loved Resident Evil. You're by yourself and you barely have any equipment. Now, the game when you start it will only have easy and normal. I started the game when I played it when the first time was, of course, on normal. Once you beat the game the first time, you will unlock Madman mode. I know that's kind of a spoiler, but the main reason I wanted to tell you this is when you do that, you unlock Madman mode. Sorry. But the point is that Madman mode, which I am playing right now, which you see here, is basically a more homage back to the original Resident Evil. Now, it kind of sucks that this is locked, but it's extremely difficult. So I understand why they wanted you to at least play it on normal or easy or normal difficulty before you played this version. Basically, it brings back the ink system where you can only have a limited number of saves, but instead of ink, you find cassette tapes. So that's something you got to be concerned of, because this game's actually pretty hard on Madman mode. As well, when you unlock Madman mode, it also moves stuff around and changes stuff. So not only will your experience be a different one experience, you'll also have a whole new experience, and it does change it quite a bit. Now, I'm not going to say the overall game experience has changed, but just item locations, certain things will change. You'll know what I mean when you first play it. I've really appreciated this. This is not just something like a newer difficulty where they just made the enemy harder, but gave you a whole new perspective of how to play. It's almost like playing a whole new game. And I wish games would do this more often, where you unlock a different perspective mode to the game than just making the enemy harder to kill and you get hurt more. But bear that in mind, I really appreciate that. This game also has item creation, a combination and stuff like that. where you can combine herbs to a chem pack and make a medicine. Basically, it's like first aid spray. And then you have a strong chem version, which makes like the ultimate version, which fully restores your life. There's also gun ammo creating as well, from regular bullets to enhanced bullets. It's got the crafting system back on the original Resident Evil 3, but also has the stealth and running mechanism from Resident Evil 3, also from Nemesis, where the enemies are very powerful and you can't really defeat them, like Nemesis. As well, on Resident Evil 2, there's kind of points of branching paths here and there, so I don't want to give any spoilers there, but I'm just saying that there's certain differences that can happen from how you play it. As well, it brings back the original save room, which you save at this location, as well as the item box where you store a bunch of items, as well as you'll find backpacks to increase your inventory. It's pretty much straightforward, the original Resident Evil games we know from the past. It's just different camera perspective. And I understand why they chose this direction, because it does work a little bit better for the design of the game. I'm not saying tank controls are bad. No way in shape or form am I saying tank controls are bad. And I hope that the Resident Evil 2 remake that they're doing is still sticking with the original tank controls from like the HD remake they did of the original first one. I just don't mind them going to first-person mode because it didn't hurt the experience for me at all. I won't say it made it better, but I just say that I can understand why they chose this direction, because it's a more safer direction to go with than trying to create another tank control or trying to create another third-person perspective. They didn't do a bad job. I don't mind it at all. I don't understand why people are raging about it. The game took me maybe, if you're curious about that, about, let's say, 11 to 12 hours to beat it on my first go. And now I'm trying to play through it all in Madman mode. Oh, no, I'd say that's a pretty good amount of time I spent playing it. And I take my time with it. And there's other people who rush through it for some reason. Other people will take longer. Oh, no, I was satisfied with the length of the time and everything. It was a good game. I generally really enjoyed it. There's not much I really could say was really wrong with the game. I didn't mind it at all. Now, there was certain moments where voice acting and character development stuff were a little weird. Like, there's a scene when you come across a cop, and it just, the whole dialogue exchange was very, very awkward. It just felt like, man, at what point did the writer think that this was how a normal conversation would go in this situation? As well, there's just other times the main character, Ethan, he didn't have enough, I need to say, life to him. Sometimes he seemed pretty chill about the whole thing. Now, that might be a spoiler for later on, which I guess I'll point this out. Everything was good and everything, but the ending was pretty abrupt to me, in my opinion. It felt like, that they could have done a little more with it, but I can almost feel like they did that on purpose for future DLC. Because right as you beat the game will pop up telling you, hey, there will be a free DLC release for like some special mode or something like that, or some special extra chapter, so on and so forth. Again, that stuff aggravates me. Why don't you just delay the game? Especially if you're going to make it for free, delay the game. It makes no sense. I know a lot of people are much different than me about DLC. I just don't like it when things pop up telling me, hey, we're not done with the game. Please wait a little longer. It's just, why don't you just finish the game first? It's like the Shanti thing with the coming soon. It irks me so much every time I see it. But I digress. There's a lot of, holes in everything, and there's a lot of things left untold and questions that's still left in the game. But hopefully they'll come to it, and hopefully we know Capcom. Capcom generally is pretty good at re-releasing games with all the DLC and updates on the disc. So hopefully they'll re-release this game with all the content on the disc. That's something I'm proud of Capcom, because they always at least do that. So I'm look forward to that. If you want to hold off for that release, you go right ahead. That's your choice. But all in all, my experience with the game was phenomenal. It was a really good survival horror game, and I'm already playing it. I just beat it, and I'm already playing it again on the higher difficulty. If that doesn't tell you a good game, then what does? If you can play a game and are willing to play the game all over again, that's the signs of a good game. Like I said, this game was really good. I have no really complaints with it. I enjoyed it. Everything worked great. There was just little hiccups here and there, but all games are not perfect. So, there's always some problems. So, like I will leave links down in the description if you're interested in a copy. As a bonus, I also will leave the pre-order DLC code I got for pre-ordering the game from Amazon. I will leave the redeem code at the bottom in the description if you want to activate it for your guys yourself. I don't know what it does or what it's for. I didn't even read it. I don't even know what it's for. It's your choice if you want it. If you're going to buy the game, there's the redeem code. So, thank you all for watching. Hit that like, subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me. I always enjoy making these videos, and I'm always looking for when making more videos from you guys. So, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!
Tell